Hi, this is AJ with First Choice Business Brokers. I'm the primary broker, principal broker here in Nebraska, owning a Nebraska office. And today I thought it'd be fun to just run through all of the businesses that I have for sale, starting with the smallest business and going up all the way to the biggest business. And I'm gonna try to run through these quickly since I've got, I think, 10 to go through with you today. And I mean, I know you can go on my website. I should know my website off the top of my head, but it's omaha.fcbb.com, or they're listed on Biz Buy Sell and all the other sort of websites that you would see businesses for sale. But I thought it might be just kind of fun to walk through them because what I notice about Biz Buy Sell, amongst a lot of other brokerage websites here in Nebraska and other places, is that sometimes it says things are for sale and they're really not for sale, or they're under contract, or you reach out to a broker and you never hear back from anybody. So these are real businesses that I have for sale right now. And yeah, so let's get started. So the smallest business I have for sale right now is a bar in Lincoln. You could probably buy that for around $40,000. Originally, we had it listed for about $90,000, but since we've listed it, the bar has actually closed. They never quite reached profitability. They were only open a couple of days a week, but it's a beautiful bar. They did a great build out, probably $100,000, $150,000 is what it would cost you to do a build out of a bar that's this nice yourself. Point of sale system, TVs, barware, everything you need. So if you've ever dreamed of opening a bar and you're in kind of the downtown Lincoln area or interested in that area, that is available. Next is one, it's an estate sales company. It's in Kansas City. So most of my things are in Nebraska, but if you know of anyone in Kansas City that would be interested in a Blue Moon estate sales franchise, this is someone that owns the Blue Moon Estate Sales in Nebraska. They also own the Kansas City territory, and they just never developed the Kansas City territory. They have some great Google reviews, so it's nice. You can get started for cheaper than if you were to buy directly from the franchise, and you already have some positive reviews. And the thing that's cool about this business that probably many people don't think about is that it's a great business if you are a realtor and you're looking for another business that you could run in addition to your real estate business. So a lot of times when people call the estate sales company, it's because maybe a parent is downsizing, they're going into a nursing home, or they have a huge house and they're moving into a smaller house and they just really need to get rid of a lot of the things that they have, but they have value, so they want to sell them. And so a lot of times this estate sale company is realizing that the house is about to be sold. And the owner here in Omaha referred like 7 home listings to a realtor that he works with and is thinking about getting his real estate license himself because he could potentially work with those clients to both sell the home, and then he has his estate sale company where he can help sell the possessions. So great lead gen if you are a real estate agent, and kind of just a fun business to run. Your main role in the business is hiring part-time employees to do the estate sales, and then also your role is, you can network with other real estate agents, which obviously you're already in the field. That's great. So yeah, I think this could be a really great add-on business, but it's in Kansas City. So if you know of anyone, definitely let me know on that. The next one is a tanning and red light and spray tanning salon here in Omaha. I actually just listed this one. It went on the market yesterday. It's for $135,000. But the great thing is, I mean, you're really buying a business that's established, but that would cost about the same if you were going to start from scratch. He has over $100,000 worth of tanning equipment and other equipment in the business. So you're not just buying blue sky, you're actually buying physical assets when you buy this business. And it's been in business for, I want to say, like 8 to 10 years. And the thing that really impressed me about this business is she has so much customer data. It's located next to a beautiful gym out in West Omaha. And I think she has close to 8,000 customers that have been to the tanning salon, that she has names, phone numbers, addresses. So if you were in the beauty space, maybe you're a makeup artist, maybe you are a massage therapist, maybe you're a dermatologist, or anyone that really wants access to that type of customer base, you could buy and run this salon. But also, maybe you run your existing business out of there. So if you're an esthetician, you could use one of the existing rooms as your esthetician room, or where you were doing permanent makeup or waxing or whatever. So this business is kicking off around $50,000 every year. It used to kick off closer to $100,000. The owner had some things happen in her personal life, so she just hasn't been as engaged in that business, but it could definitely go back up to that level. And she does have a lot of people that have monthly memberships. So nice to have that recurring revenue. And a beautiful location and a great owner. So yeah, just listed. Reach out to me if you're interested on that one. The next one is a retail shop, and primarily what this retail location sells is high-end sneakers. So this business is for sale for $180,000. But what's cool about the sales price on this one, when you're working with these smaller businesses, anything that you're going to buy for, let's call it $250,000 and under, sometimes it's harder to get an SBA loan, just because a lot of lenders don't want to do these small loans because they don't make as much money off those small loans. So even though technically you could get an SBA loan, it's just a lot harder to do in practice, is what I've noticed. So this business owner is willing to finance most of the transaction. He wants you to come with, maybe $50,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in your own funds as a down payment, and then he can finance the rest, which I think shows a lot of confidence in where the business is headed, and is a way to get into maybe your first business without having to spend a lot. The rent on this place is $600 a month. It's a beautiful location. He's got all these high-end sneakers. It kind of looks like a store that would be in California. Beautiful wood floors, just a cool vibe. And he even has this little area to the side where they make specialty drinks. A lot of teenagers come into the store, so they're looking for a place to maybe hang out for a little bit, check out the sneakers, check out the other apparel, and they can grab a soda or a drink, not caffeine, not alcoholic, or there are caffeine drinks available, but I mean, it's not a coffee shop, but it's kind of a cool concept on what they can do. This would be great for events. If you are doing wanted an event space for really cheap, and you could have things there weekly, especially if you're targeting younger people. You could also sort of pivot this a little bit to focus on a bit of an older market. Not that I don't have a lot of friends in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are very into high-end tennis shoes and kind of one-of-a-kind high-end apparel, but you could do more on the athleisure wear. You could have your own clothing line there. You could bring in a lot of Husker wear. There's a lot of possibilities here. So I like this as, a business that's pretty simple to run. The owner of this business has another business he's very occupied in, and that's why he's selling this one. But it'd be great. I mean, I think it kicks off around $60,000 in seller's discretionary earnings per year, and it's grown every single year. So it's on the uptick. It's only been open for about 3 years. So this would be a good one to come in and earn some extra money on the side and kind of play with your very first business. The next one I wanted to talk about was an equipment dealership. So this is located in Sidney, Nebraska, and they sell equipment like lawnmowers, ATVs, which is really popular in rural Nebraska. A lot more people have land. They use them for farming and for fun. Generators, a lot of smaller electrical equipment items, but they do it through a dealership model. So they have an exclusive contract with a dealer that supplies this equipment. And it's hard to find one of these that is available. So $350,000, it kicks off about $100,000 in seller's discretionary earnings every year. It's been around for a long time, and it's just, you know, very stable. They also service this equipment. So not only do they sell new equipment, but they would, you know, help fix your lawnmower or help fix your ATV. And that portion of the business, the service side, could really grow if you put more emphasis on it. Once again, this business is sort of a bolt-on business to the owner's other businesses. He owns a ton of dealerships, I think close to 25 dealerships in farm equipment. And so this one isn't really the priority, but it does, you know, just 100,000 every single year. Just a couple of employees, service techs, a sales guy. And if you were in any sort of related business to this, RV sales, any, you know, you're a mechanic, you have an auto body shop, you know, or just want to get into this space, this would be a nice, simple business to come into. Caveat here is the location is going to need to move. That's, I think, the only reason that I haven't sold it so far, is that they're in an existing building and they need to move it to another location because that business needs more room for their operations. They have the $350,000 price, though, is almost all collateralized. So essentially, I think that they have close to $150,000 worth of parts that's available on the service side of the business. And then I think around $150,000 of new equipment, new ATVs, lawnmowers, etc. So when you're buying this business, you're really mostly paying just for the assets, but then you also, on top of that, have that $100,000 that's just coming in, regular customers, and that exclusive contract with the provider of these parts. Okay, I need to speed up because I'm going too much in depth on each one of these, but we're getting to bigger and bigger businesses as we go. So the next one I wanted to talk about is, I almost said the name of it. I'm not gonna say the name. It's a plumbing company. It's in rural, more, you know, on the western side of Nebraska, in generally the Grand Island area. It's maybe 45 minutes, you know, kind of within that area is where he services. And been around for, I think, close to 30 years. This is one of those ones where it's owned and operated by the master plumber. At one point, he had, you know, 7 or 8 plumbers and an admin employee, and he was also doing the plumbing work himself. But just over time, you know, I see this in a lot of the businesses that I represent that have been around for a long time, especially if for owner-operators. You kind of get at a comfortable level of money, and then your time starts being worth more to you, and you're not being stressed out is worth more to you than making a couple extra bucks. So while he used to have 7 plumbers, he's kind of wound that down over time. So now he has just one other great plumber and himself. He has way too much work than he could ever do. He doesn't have any of the stress of, you know, having quite a few employees. But it just, the reason I like this business, if you were going to get into the plumbing space, is that he has a great reputation because he's a true craftsman. The reason he didn't want a lot of employees is because he really cared about making sure that the work was done in a very high quality way. So he gets, you know, probably, he said just every day his phone is ringing, and he can maybe tackle 20% of the work, 30% of the work. He has commercial work, he has residential work, he has relationships with home builders, data centers, you know, relationships that would take a long time to build if you were starting this from scratch. So this would be a great way to come in. You know, you might be a plumber yourself, or you have a partner that's a plumber, or you're going to hire a master plumber, and then just you're going to scale up that business to meet the demand that he already has in place. I want to say, I should have looked this up, maybe $200,000 worth of equipment, plumbing parts, trailers, all that you really need to get started, he has. And then he's got, you know, really nice annual cash flow. I want to say maybe like $180,000 a year in cash flow. It varies. Some years it's been over 250, and then in past years when he had a lot more plumbers, it was even higher than that. So great bolt-on business, or a way to get into the plumbing space. 3 more to talk to you about, actually 4 more. Next we have a daycare. So this one is, they've owned and operated it for 10 years or so in the established location. Before that, it was in this location for another 10 years. So this daycare has been in this exact same location for 20 years. It's in a really nice spot in Omaha. The business is for sale for $595,000, and it already has a center director in place. So at one point, the owner was serving as the center director, and when they were doing that, there was maybe around $175,000 in sellers' discretionary earnings. If you put a center director in place, which they have a great center director they brought in January. Her salary is $52,000 a year. So you're looking at, maybe $125,000 or so in sellers' discretionary earnings after you're paying your center director. And you can really take a much more passive role in the business. You run payroll, maybe help with some of the hiring, but you're not needing to be there. There's cameras, so you can just kind of keep an eye on things from your phone. So this is a really good opportunity to buy a very established daycare where the owners are retiring, and just build from there. The daycare is not at capacity. They're rated for 99 kids. And right now they have maybe 40 or 50 that are coming on a regular basis. So still a lot of room to grow. And they don't spend any money on marketing right now. So I really think a new owner could come in and get this daycare up to full capacity. And it's beautiful on the inside. I love the layout of it. $595,000. This one it's technically under contract right now, and it's under contract for less than $595,000. So you could definitely get it for less. I think it's a really good price on this one. But the current person that's under contract with it he's not from the daycare space. This would be his first business. And so he's kind of wavering a little bit. And so I do think, I'm not sure, it may go through, but I would be open to backup offers on this one, on the daycare. So reach out to me if you're interested on that one. Next, I have 4 learning centers here in Omaha for sale. That's for $599,000. And what's great about these learning centers, they've been around for 30 years. It is part of a franchise. So if you are thinking to yourself, I'm not from the education space, I wouldn't know how to operate that business, that is totally okay, because you have the franchise supporting you. So you don't need to have that background. If you are an educator, that's excellent, because you probably have already a passion for that industry, and maybe you have connections to school districts where, that's one of your roles as an owner, is getting to know people in the educational community. And, when kids are having a little bit of trouble, this is something that the school can say, hey, you could take your child to this learning center if you wanted to, supplement some reading support, math support, get some extra help. They also do SAT prep, everything from the littlest kids all the way up to the people that are prepping for college. And this one's at a great price. I've already had my SBA lender take a look at it, and he was able to pre-qualify this business for a $690,000 loan, and it's for sale for $599,000. So it's the bank, which banks are very conservative, as you know, especially SBA lenders. Only 2% of SBA people that take SBA loans ever default on their loans, which means 98% pay their loans on time. And that's because banks are very conservative in making sure that you are able to cover what you need to for the loan payment, and the cash flow is there for you. So she is selling this business, and we just dropped the price to $599,000, I want to say about a week ago, and I've had a ton of interest since then because it is a good deal. I want to say that the seller's discretionary earnings is around $185,000 on this one. In some years it was $200,000 or so, and there's a lot of room to grow in this one. If you look at the franchise disclosure document for the franchise, you can see that the top territories for this particular franchise are doing almost double what she is doing in revenue. So she's already making a good amount off this business, and she is not involved in the day-to-day operations of any of the 4 centers. She has more of a regional manager role where she's managing the manager. She's spending, 20 hours or so a week. She runs payroll, she helps with hiring, but she doesn't have to go into the office every single day or go into a center every day. So I think this is a great one for people that are maybe coming out of corporate America. They want that stable income. They want room to grow. They want the support and network of other really smart professionals across the country that they can be part of a community. This business has been stable for so long. I just think it's a good one if you want to, get into something where it's not as risky about what am I going to do in my first year or 2 years. You should, if you just keep things going as they're going, you should be able to expect the same amount of revenue and profit. And even more if you took a more active role and replaced one of the center directors, that's another $60,000 that's going to your bottom line. So rather than, $185,000, you're looking more in the $250,000 in earnings for the owner. So great business. Definitely reach out quickly on that one if you are interested, because it is not under contract yet, but I do have someone that is gone to Discovery Day with the franchise and is very interested. So hurry on that one. Next, I have a home health care business for sale here in Omaha. They do 95% of their work in Omaha, but they have a license for the whole state. And their niche, home health care, is think about a babysitter for people that have disabilities or are older adults that need help in their home. So babysitters don't require any sort of special skills or certifications. Neither do home health care workers in Nebraska. Some are CNAs, but that's not required. They don't do any medical nursing, although you could expand into that area very easily and grow this business quite a lot on that side. But you could also just stay in the non-medical, non-nursing home health side. And what's really cool about this business is you don't need a lot of clients to make a lot of money. So this one is for sale for $3.8 million. So you got to be willing to take a bigger risk, but with that risk, you get a lot more return. Last year, she made about $1 million in EBITDA. So huge amount of income coming into the owner on this one. And she only has 34 clients. So you think about in so many other businesses, how many customers you have to have in order to make $1 million in earnings. That's not the case in this business. Her average home health care client is having 75 or 77 hours of care inside their home. So that means it's not a 40-hour-a-week thing, it's a 77-hour-a-week thing on average. She has some clients that need 24/7 care, so that's 168 hours. She has others that need 30 hours of care. But on average, it's pretty high. So, add a couple of clients every month and you could you could go crazy with this business. She thinks that this business could easily be doubled in the next year with just a decent plan. She doesn't spend money on advertising. She has a pretty good referral model where all of her clients are currently on Medicaid. And they're on Medicaid. They work with caseworkers associated with the state, and they refer to her agency, amongst others. They provide a list of agencies. But she has just such a great reputation in the community and amongst those caseworkers that often those caseworkers are saying, hey, you should look at this one, this home health care agency. She also helps people that don't realize that these services are available to them through the Medicaid program. So maybe you have an elder parent that's on Medicaid right now. Their child is currently having to run to the grocery store, help them, for a significant number of hours a week. Maybe they're helping their parent 20, 30 hours a week. Maybe they're even living with their parent to help take care of them. And they don't even realize that they could be having Medicaid pay for these in-home health care service, this service offering. So because she has so many employees, often they'll say, hey, I've got, my cousin has her grandma that needs these services and she's on Medicaid. So they will help that person understand what benefits are available to them, help them get signed up for Medicaid waiver, help them go through navigate the process, and then, they are able to serve that client, and it's paid for 100% by Medicaid. The thing that surprised me on this business is Medicaid. I think about Medicaid and dealing with the government and medical billing, and I just thought it was going to be so complicated. It's not, actually. There's an online system, and she bills, actually the owner doesn't bill herself. She has someone in her office that bills for her, and that woman bills on Sunday nights, and she is paid on the following Friday, like clockwork. I mean, there's only 1 week until she's paid for those services, and it's just directly deposited in her bank account. And I've looked at her bank statements from the last 12 months and seen the DHHS deposits, and you chart the growth that she's seen. It's like this. I mean, just a beautiful growth trajectory on this business. So I had it under contract once. It fell through because of something related to the potential buyer's business. Technically right now we are under LOI, but the person that's buying it is sort of wavering. And if we can't come to something today, this is going to be back available. We're going to go off of that exclusive LOI. And I have a good chance it may come back available, because what so many people see when they get into this business is it's a new business. It's only been around for about 3 years. So 3 years ago, it was doing 200,000 in EBITDA, say. 2022, it was doing 500,000 in EBITDA. 2023, it does $1 million in EBITDA. So people sometimes get hesitant to pay for businesses that are on that, growth trajectory, because banks will say, oh, I don't know. I had my person at Live Oak take a look at this business, and they said that they could do SBA financing for about $2.85 million on this business. So SBA loan is very much still possible on this one. The seller is willing to finance some. The owner would need to come to the table with about $350,000 in cash to buy this business. But I love this business. I love the owner. I mean, this is one that I just think I like it. It seems much more simple than many businesses I've seen operating at this level. And the reason someone hasn't bought it is because it's a little bit new, and also sometimes people look and say like, oh, you only have 35 clients. What if 1 goes away? What if 2 go away? What if 3 go away? What if 5 clients go away, your top 5 clients? That could hurt your business by 25, 30%. Well, yeah, that's true, but also the flip side is also true. If you grow by 5 clients, you're gonna be up another 20%. So, I think that it's an interesting one because of the recurring revenue and because of the stable growth pattern. I would be worried about customer churn if I saw a customer churn problem in this business. I don't. It's just every single month like this, more and more hours billed per month directly to Medicaid. So you can tell I'm excited about this one. So this one will get snatched up quickly. Definitely reach out to me. I have people all over the country reaching out to me about this business, because once you are in that 1 million seller's discretionary earnings, there's people from all over the country, full-time searchers that are full-time looking for a business to buy. They're willing to move to the place. Sometimes when people hear Nebraska, that's not the location they always dreamed that they would live in. And so I think if you're listening to this and you are a local buyer willing to do an SBA loan, and you're just ready to go, snatch this one up. Okay, so enough about that one. 3.8 million, reach out to me ASAP on it. The last one is also a really great opportunity. This one is 4.9 million is the sale price, and it is a 80-year-old roofing company located about 45 minutes outside of Lincoln. Every single year since 2015, they've done over $1 million. They have about $800,000 worth of equipment, trucks, trailers, all the things that you need. And this has just been remarkably stable. So if the business I told you before, the home healthcare business, if that scares you a little bit because you're like, oh, I don't know if I could buy a business for millions of dollars that it has a 3-year track record. I get it that everybody has different things that they're looking for in a business, and what I think would be great might not be great for you. So if you say, I want something that really has a very, very long track record, look at this business, over $1 million every single year and 80 years in the community. They are the biggest roofing company in the community. They have a great reputation, and it shows because in 2022, when that area got hit very hard with hail, customers just from all over the area just called them and said, hey, put me on your list to get a new roof. They don't need to bid it out to a bunch of different roofing companies. They want to go with a roofing company that's been in the community, that they trust, local, not some fly-by-night company that's coming to Nebraska because there's hail just to sell a bunch of roofs and then you won't be able to find in the future. So they don't actually do any advertising. They sponsor the local high school team, I guess is all they do. But for a roofing company, that is so unusual, and to do that much revenue. In 2022, when the hail came, I mean, I want to say they did like 3 or 4 million in profit that year, which is crazy. So you buy this business for 4.9 million, you have a 10-year SBA loan, almost guaranteed in that period of time, we are going to have hail. Hail happens every 6 or 7 years to a large degree. It happens a lot, in smaller degrees throughout the years, but you're gonna have a huge hail event in all likelihood, and you just pay off your loan in that 1 year with your profits. So they saw a huge year in 2022, still doing hail work in 2023. This year is expected to go back to normal, at that about $1 million mark. But when I compared their Q1 performance in 2024 compared to what they were Q1 2019, take out COVID, take out hail, like let's just go back to regular benchmark and see where they're at. They're up substantially from where they were in 2019 and over the same time period. So this is a great business, and the roofing industry, it's a need business, not a want business, which I think, as we look at if there is going to be a recession or who knows what happens with the economy, this is something, if your roof is leaking, you're going to call your insurance company, it is going to get fixed, you are going to hire a roofing company, no ifs, ands, buts about it. So I don't see a lot of variability because of the economy. So a lot of people like these types of businesses, and also because the roofing industry is so highly fragmented. So there is more and more private equity that's getting interested and involved in this space. I have people once again on this business from all over the country reaching out to me about it, because you buy one great roofing company and then, maybe you're buying it at a 3 or 4 multiple, and you buy another one and add another $1 million or $2 in EBITDA, and you buy another one and you add another $1 million or $2 in EBITDA. Well, all of a sudden you're up to $5 to $7 million in EBITDA every year. And at that point, rather than buying them at a 3 or 3.5 or 4 multiple, you're able to sell these businesses for maybe a 7 multiple, 10 multiple. So just by buying 3 and rolling them up, consolidating them, and then selling to a higher level buyer, investment firms, private equity, you get that multiple arbitrage. You didn't even maybe grow the business, you just put them together, and then you get to sell it, for twice the price that you bought it for. It's just an insane thing that is happening, and happens, in the Main Street market, lower middle market space. So once again, I think the only reason I haven't already sold this business is because a lot of people don't want to move to Nebraska, and I get it, but it's a great business. It doesn't have a lot of employees. They run on a subcontractor model. So if you're thinking, oh shoot, roofing, I don't want to have all these W-2 employees that are climbing on roofs, I don't want the liability of that. Well, they work with 5 subcontracting crews on the residential side. So they're not the ones that are actually having the employees on the roofs. They are contracting it out to an entirely separate company, which also lets them scale up and scale down very quickly. You don't see a company go from 1 million in earnings to 4 million in earnings, profit, in just 1 year very often, because it's so hard to scale up the employees quick enough to meet that demand. When you're on a subcontractor model, they just went from using 2 roofing crews to using 5 roofing crews, no problem. And they have had these subcontractors for 30 years. They know how they like to operate the business. They do it on a very high quality way, and they've just got a very synergistic relationship because the subcontractors don't know how to market. They don't have the name in the community. They don't do the project management, customer service side. That's what this roofing company does. They also have a commercial component to their roofing business. So let's call it 70% is on the residential side, maybe 30% is on the commercial side. They have ongoing relationships with large banks, hospitals, school districts. And so when you look at 2024, they already have close to $1 million in projects sold, commercial projects sold for 2024. And then that just provides, some extra stability in the earnings. So yeah, take a look at this one. And I know a lot of people like to buy businesses where the owner is retiring. If they're not retiring, there's always a lot of question in people's minds as to why the owner is selling the business. If it's such a great business and so profitable and so fun, why are you selling it? And most people have a good reason for that. But when it's a retirement, it just like, oh, clearly, yeah, the owner's 83 years old. His 2 sons that work in the business are about to be 60. It makes sense why they are, ready to exit the business, especially after, just the crazy amounts of money that they were able to put in their pocket the last couple of years. So this went a little bit longer than I thought, but yeah, those are some of the things that are actually available in Nebraska right now that you can buy. So if you are interested, the best way to get some initial information is to go to my website, omaha.fcbb, as in firstchoicebusinessbrokers.com, and then click on businesses for sale, and you can just look at the different links. Click on the link, and then if you're on your computer on the right hand side, you'll see a place where you can sign an NDA, that you can sign it electronically, and then a level 1 packet will be sent to you right away that describes, it shows you profit and loss statements, gives you a little bit more information about the business, but it doesn't say the name of the business or the location. Confidentiality is super important when you're selling a business, and I always like to talk to potential buyers to understand what they're looking for, make sure that they actually have the funds to purchase a business of the size that they're looking at, answer any questions that they have, and then at that point, once I've done a little bit of vetting, I guess you could say, and just it's nice to talk to people. So maybe the business that you're originally interested isn't the perfect fit, but I can recommend another one for you. So once I have that information, then I can send you a level 2 packet that has the name of the business. Often I have tax returns, and even more, sometimes redacted information about customers or clients. So yes, that is, that's what I have. So definitely go on even if you're on your phone right now, just go to my website, scroll to the bottom of the listing, sign the NDA, and you'll start getting some information. And then reach out to me if you don't see any businesses in this list that you like, but you're very serious about buying a business in a particular industry. I may have things that I know that are in the pipeline, or other sellers that haven't totally decided that they want to sell, but they may be interested. So you could certainly reach out to me. My email address is aj.kohler, KOHLER, at fcbb.com, and you can just let me know what you're looking for, and I'd be happy to try to help you. So thank you guys. That's what I've got as of May 8th, 2024. All right, I'll try to do these on a semi-regular basis so you can get a little sneak preview, and I'll try to maybe put out some shorter ones too. Okay, thanks.